what can I get for you?
A medium hot coffee, cream.
What's up, America? It's your girl bringing you some news you can use. We are live at the number one internet radio station, IntellectualRadio.com. My goal today is to inform, educate, entertain, and inspire. Do you have the drive, the vision, the creativity? Are you willing to take risks in your day-to-day activities, in your business, in your marriage, in your relationships, in your friendships? Well, I have a special guest today in the studio, and hopefully she's going to light a fire within you, within me, your listening audience. Today's show, we're going to be sharing information, giving introspection, and providing inspiration. So she's a motivational speaker. She's an event strategist. She is the owner and founder of Chicks That Pitch. She does so many different things and she wears so many different hats. I call her a super mom. And so we're going to get up close and personal with her, and I'm going to have her share her story. Remember, I told you all at the end of last year, my goal was to share 1,000 stories here on my platform, and that the stories that you hear today or any day will hopefully uplift and inspire you to light a fire within you to make some changes and start right now, start today. So please share the broadcast. Tell someone to tell someone to tell someone to get tuned in to Making Waves with Miss Darci. Alicia is not here today. She had an emergency, and hopefully she'll be back with us on Thursday. So it's going to be just me and my super mom today. So I'm really excited that she has agreed to embrace my platform today and taking time out of her schedule to share some nuggets with me and you, the listening audience. So we have some bills to pay, and you know how I do the abracadabra. So I'm going to go away and come back, and she's going to be sitting right to the right of me. So you're tuned in to IntellectualRadio.com. You can watch us locally, nationally, and internationally. You can also go to IntellectualRadio.com. You can follow us on Instagram. You can check us on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. IntellectualRadio.com, an iHeartRadio station where we're guaranteed to feed your brain. Back in a moment.
IntellectualRadio.com. Team Olivia Pate. Listen to Making Waves with Miss Darci on IR and iHeartRadio station, Tuesday and Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We love you, Miss Darci.
Hey, this is Lenny Williams, and I enjoy listening to IntellectualRadio.com and Making Waves with Miss Darci.
Are bill collectors calling you? Are you afraid to answer the phone? Afraid of lawsuits, garnishments, losing your apartment, house, or car? Then call us for your debt relief options. I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Chapter 7 or 13 can relieve the debt pressure. Call us now for a free phone mini consultation or log on to infotapes.com. We're the law firm you trust to get you out of debt.
1-800-401-4010. American Express for travel and entertainment worldwide.
Just show them this, the American Express card.
Don't leave home without it.
Someday, I may even use it on the moon. It's a marvelous thing.
Oh! So you can replace plane tickets, traveler's checks, a lost card.
Really? That worked?
American Express's timeless safety and security are available on Apple Pay. The next evolution of membership is here.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, Making Waves with Miss Darci, we broadcast live right here every Tuesday and Thursday. Let me start over. We broadcast live right here and Thursday starting at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern on IntellectualRadio.com, which is an iHeartRadio station. You can catch us locally, nationally, internationally. And to my right, I'm going to let this super mom introduce herself to you all.
Well, thank you, Darci. First, thank you for inviting me on to your program. I think it's an honor to be able to share, especially with the work that you do, inspiring and motivating others. So thank you.
Yeah.
And like she said, I am Michelle Santiago. I am a wife, mom, grandmother,
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about that.
Yes, grandmother. And wow, where do I begin? I would say that my work probably began when I started in ministry years ago.
So what was before we hold on, because I got so many questions just looking at her bio. I was just like elated, and I met her some years ago at an event.
Yes.
With her and Erica, and I just followed her, watched her things that she posts, inspirational. Her granddaughter, she is a doll. And before I get started, I just want to say today's show is sponsored by no other than Krispy Kremes, and their motto, their mission is to make the most awesome donuts on the planet every single day, and they are very, very addictive.
Yes.
We have them here in the studio. They have 3 locations: one at 17815 South Halsted Street in Homewood, 9150 Southwestern Avenue in Evergreen Park, and their newest location in Hillside, 110 South Manhattan Road. So thank you for being a sponsor for Making Waves with Miss Darci. Growing up, college, right after high school, what was your hobby, Michelle? What made Michelle tick? What did you like to do?
Well, I can't talk about school without talking about the journey that I went through.
Okay.
So just growing up, I was always into like gymnastics and cheerleading.
Okay.
And so I would say that I had early practice in motivating, inspiring, you know?
Mhm.
And so, and then my was it sophomore year, junior year? I was 16. I was 16 when my father passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And in retrospect, I know that I was depressed. Didn't know that then. I just knew I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to do anything. Met a little boy, told me I was cute. Next thing you know, I became a teen mom.
Yeah, I know about that.
Absolutely. Became this teen mom, dropped out of high school, and just was going through life, just period. But in my gut, I knew that this was not it. You know,
You knew something, it was something more to life
absolutely
than what you were doing. And that, first of
Absolutely.
all, a traumatic loss at such a young age
Mhm.
had to be detrimental to you. I mean, it had to be,
Absolutely.
because you're young and you're like, why does this have to happen? And why, there probably was so many questions going through your mind.
Yeah.
And with life, there are no rules and regulations. It's
Absolutely.
just, we have our parents to guide us,
Mhm.
or whoever's raising us or mentoring us, but there are no, like, you go open a bank
There's no
account and they say
textbook.
you got to have $500 and you got to maintain this and you can write
Absolutely.
these many checks. Life doesn't come like that. And sometimes the decisions that we make put us where we are. And people always like to do the blame game.
Absolutely.
Michelle, well, if my parents had been did this, if they hadn't lived in Cabrini Greens, if they hadn't lived
And that's
over
so
here.
easy. That's very easy to do.
Why is that?
It's very easy to do because that allows us to be a victim. And either you're going to be a victim or a victor. Even when you don't know that this is what you are, as far as choosing either or, I think that it's important to have those people around you who you may not know that they're mentoring you or planting seed, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my mom had me when she was 46. Yes.
Are you serious?
And my mom is living and well. She took a bad fall this past September, October, and that shook me.
Mm-hmm.
It shook
I know.
Me. It really shook me. But she's here. She's a fighter.
That's right.
And I believe that at my core, that's where I get it from. And there was something about being at that public aid office as a young teen mom, and this lady telling me that this was it, as far as get used to this.
Isn't that something? Because I remember that. I mean, when you said it, I just had a moment, like a flashback.
Because this is anger that came over me.
Because they make you think like you're nothing, and this is all it is to life.
Absolutely. But God said not so.
That's right.
And because I always saw myself. Now, I come from a family of hairstylists. I mean, I went to beauty school, finished, never got my license. I'm like, I'm not doing that. My mama does that. My nieces who are older than I am does that. My cousins are hairstylists. I'm not doing what they do because there's a little rebellion in me too. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing all that. But I was always drawn to business. My sophomore year of high school, I took an introduction to business class, did extremely well. The teacher said, if you want to take the business law class, do that. And before the pregnancy and all that, that was the goal. I wanted to go to school for business law. I was passionate about it. I loved it. I had a counselor who literally told me, you can't take that class because it's for seniors. Okay. So the teacher went down there to have a conversation with her, and I wound up in the class.
Why do people do that? Well, mine told me, I kept saying I want to be a lawyer. You know, people, they always say when you're growing up, they say, well, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher. But I want to be a lawyer because I like to go back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, I like to negotiate. I liked, and I did that all.
And you like to state your facts when you do that, which is the difference.
See, and they was like, oh, you a teen mom. You can't be you can't be it. What?
I know, right? We were blessed. And when I say that, I mean, you know, when I mentioned my mom, that was a generation that didn't have therapy. My mom suffered a lot of loss. She lost a baby at 16 years old to violence, you know, shot by a cop. So there's a lot of things that have happened in my world that have helped shape me to be who I am, that has helped me in not just caring for my family, but just caring for others. And as I started working in retail, I found out that I really loved it. But it wasn't the retail part I loved. It was helping
I know.
It was helping my customers.
I already knew it. When you said retail, and the spark in your eye. So I knew it wasn't about getting a sale. Yeah. It was that conversation.
Absolutely. And it was it was problem solving for me as well, because if you come to me and you tell me you're looking for ABC, I would literally send you back into the mall for a minute and have you come back. And when you came back, I had a rack waiting for you. I don't care if I worked at Evergreen Plaza or Neiman Marcus. All my customers had excellent customer service for me, and they followed me no matter where I went. I sold everything from
you sold cars,
skincare to Mercedes to Audis to Boss suits, you name it, to to TV spots on WJYS. So I loved that part of helping people, that customer service aspect of it.
And it was a challenge too. It was actually twofold for you. Yes. So it wasn't just customer service, Michelle. It was customer service and presenting your case, because even when retail, you say you had them to go and come back. Absolutely. And you had everything laid out. So for a car, if they tell you what they wanted, then you knew what to do to get them where they wanted to be.
Absolutely. And I loved selling cars. I really did, but I could not do it the way they did it. I could not sit here and tell you, Darci, that this is the best deal you're going to get, knowing it's not. I'm not cut from, I couldn't do it. I felt like if I was going to do this, because God opened the door for me. He opened that door because I started there as a cashier in the parts department and service, because I had babies by that time. I didn't want to go back to management. I just wanted an easy job to go home. Exactly. Didn't want the responsibility. And the more I saw them on that sales floor, the more I'm like, I can do that. I could do that. So, true story. I would get calls, and understanding clients, understanding the psychology of sales, Black educated women would call, and especially those in sororities. And I mention that because there's something about empowerment that they believe in. And they would call the dealership and ask, was there a Black female salesperson?
No. Are you serious?
And I would tell them no, because there was not. But I kept record of it. I would tally each time I got one of those calls. I went first one time. I want to be in sales. They toyed around with it, and finally were like, no, you can't do that. Okay. One day, suddenly, the VP of the dealership walked out. I took that paper again to DM, who was now running the dealership. I said, this is how many units you're losing each time they call. Well, tell them we have that. I said, I won't do that.
Because that's why you kept track.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I stated my case.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. So they put me on the floor. He said, we're going to give it a try at this. My first sale was a 3-car sale. We're talking
3-car sale?
3 cars.
They couldn't believe it, could they?
Mm-mm. And I always had these sales where they would tell me, it normally doesn't happen that way. I said, I know.
They just wouldn't give you that credit. Wouldn't just give it to you.
I said, that's okay, I know. And every client I had that bought a car from me got a gift.
And they probably sent you a referral.
Absolutely.
Wow. Look at this. Look at God. See, and that you had to go down that road.
I did.
That road was meant for Michelle.
Absolutely.
And nobody else. And nobody will ever understand that. And just like you said, it resonates with me when you said people telling you that you can't do this or you can't be in this. Mm-hmm. But the road that God had for you was that road. It also was lessons being learned along the way. And even though we make poor judgments or poor decisions, every day, all day long, someone asked, my mentor challenged me to count the decisions I make in 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't make that many decisions. So they were like, okay, the night before you go to bed, you got to figure out what you're going to wear. Mm-hmm. You got to figure out what you're going to eat.
Absolutely.
You got to figure out what your day looks like. If you need to change it because you're going over here, and if you're going to go this way, do everything. And what earrings you're going to wear. If you're going to wear jewelry, if you're going to wear makeup, if you're going to wear eyeshadow. And I was looking at him like, he said, then you figure out what shoes you're going to wear. If you got a pants on, they can need a belt. What belt?
Absolutely.
What top going to go with this? Or if you're going to wear a skirt. How many decisions was that? And I'm looking like,
whoa, right? Absolutely.
Every day we make probably tons of decisions every day in our life. And that molds us or shape us to be who we are and where we end up today. Whether it's good or bad, we may think it's good in that instant moment.
Yeah.
But then we may have to learn from that and just not make that same mistake or maybe make a detour. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's called life.
Absolutely. And, the many years I spent in church and full-time ministry, I believe is what really prepared me for where I am today. You believe that you're less than. You believe that I was born in this zip code to these parents. Okay, so now what?
And you don't go past the plateau.
Exactly.
You stay like in your lane.
Absolutely.
Or in your box.
But there's something that my mom taught all of us, and that is that one, she would not allow us to sit in class, any class that taught evolution.
Really?
Yes. And
so how did you get around that?
She would go to the school and tell them we weren't sitting in there.
Okay.
And the reason why was because she understood what we have gone through over the decades of Jim Crow and all of that, and all of the caricatures of us and everything that you see have us looking like baboons and monkeys and things like that. And she's like, you're not sitting there and someone telling you that you came from an ape, because the association is just, too close. Yeah. No, that's not going to happen. God created you for purpose.
That's right.
You were designed to be here. And because of that, my mom would take her Bible and teach us history from the Bible. And it's amazing to see some of these things from 30, 40 years ago that she was saying that people told her she was crazy, that you start seeing come to be. And so she was a prophet before her time, and she had unconventional ways of doing things sometimes, but I can tell you that being a mom, I now look at my mom not as my mom, but as a woman who had to make decisions, a woman who had to live through growing up picking cotton 25 cents a day.
They tell me them stories, and I'd be like, okay,
nah. But that, and I would share with my sister, we don't even know 25% of what had happened to mom.
We don't have a clue. We don't. I'm telling you, and for you to say that we took my remaining my mom's 2 sisters that are remaining, and all the daughters took the moms out year before last. And we were sitting at Olive Garden, and they got emotional because they saw us, and then I had my daughter and my daughter's daughter, and they were saying how we are so blessed because of what they went through picking cotton, how hot it was, and decisions that they had to make for their life.
My mom left home at 18. She's like,
And
no.
I was like, and when they told us, I mean, I guess we always know, you pick how you,
Right.
but they really went into it, and we recorded them. And when I think I got it bad, or I think it's too much going on in the day,
Right.
I have to go back and listen and watch that video, because that's why I had to take the journey that I took.
Yes.
And that's so important. And I'm listening to you, and I see the passion and the drive when you speak about your mom. And so for you to be who you are, a strong power mom, super mom, it's because of the lessons and the things that your mom went through. And she wanted you to not only go through them, but make you a better Michelle today.
Absolutely. And I think at how, going back to the church thing, we would, my friends would always go to this, because I used to party. I used to party. And, I had some girlfriends that I worked with at Evergreen Plaza, and
they go Evergreen Plaza, y'all.
Yeah. And because we worked at Evergreen Plaza during the New Jack City days. Yeah. So, we would get all cute and go get dressed in the back of the store and go out and hang out till 5 a.m, go back and open the store. Let me try that today. Nope.
But you know what? Those were the days. And it was that era, the music, the clubs, the fun, Michelle, is different now.
It's very different now. And I can tell you that that group of ladies, especially one, her name is Diana, who I worked with. And she's the person that opened up my world to leadership. She was a manager. She was a young manager. And anything I wanted to know about operations in that store, she would say, okay. And she would teach me.
What? You mean she didn't say, no, I can't share that with you. It's confidential.
Nope.
No, I can't, because that means you're going to be better than me. No, Michelle, I can't tell you that because you're going to take money out of my pocket.
Nope. And to this day, we're still friends.
Wow.
Because when people pour into you like that, you don't regret it. And then I had another manager when I was at Merry-Go-Round who I hated. I hated Eugene with every fiber of my being.
She said with every fiber of my being.
But
you learn from him.
When I tell you I never had anyone push me, I never had anyone push me like that man pushed me. And I remember when top management came in to promote me and how they prepared me. If they offer you this, no.
See that?
And what they would do to the other managers that didn't look like me, and how they would promote them, and how he kind of went a different way and literally interrupted me while I was waiting on a customer to promote me. And the manager was livid. So these life lessons of people, this is what you accept. This is what your worth is. And they fought for me. When I went back to the original store I was working at called Sportel, and Diana was moving back to her hometown out of state, they weren't going to promote me because I didn't have a degree.
How did that? You said that the manager that pushed you and you hated him or you didn't like him to the bottom of your core.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back, you say he pushed you harder than you probably could remember.
Mm-hmm.
But then they also groomed you.
Yes.
To know your worth.
Absolutely.
Which is, I want to talk about that because a lot of us don't know our worth. And there's nothing wrong with helping people, because I think the only way we're going to get to the top is to take some people with us.
Absolutely.
But then you still have to know your worth. You have to know that everything and all your services are not going to always be free.
Oh, God, no.
And that your friends and family get free. And when you make it, that means they don't have to pay for your services.
Mm-hmm.
So she hit a nerve when she said that. And I want her to talk about that. We're going to take a quick pause, but I want her to come back and talk about knowing your worth and what that did for you right then and there for that promo, for them telling you, guiding you, saying, don't take this, don't do that. Looking back on that, what that did for you then and what it's doing for you today.
Okay, great.
IntellectualRadio.com. We're tuned in and Making Waves with Miss Darci. Supermom, Michelle Franks Santiago. Did I say it right?
That's correct.
I was practicing. Back in a moment. We got some bills to pay.
Good morning. What can I get for you?
A medium hot coffee, cream and 2 sugars, please.
Medium hot coffee, cream, 2 sugar. Sounds good.
At Dunkin', we make your coffee just the way you like it. If not, we'll make it again, on the spot. That's the DD commitment. America runs on Dunkin'.
Good morning. What can I get for you?
A medium hot coffee, cream and 2 sugars, please.
Medium hot coffee, cream, 2 sugar. Sounds good.
At Dunkin', we make your coffee just the way you like it. If not, we'll make it again, on the spot. That's the DD commitment. America runs on Dunkin'.
These 100% beef burgers are stacked with bacon, sweet bourbon sauce, and apparently my mom's fave, spicy sriracha sauce. Eat it. Don't tweet it, Mom.
Denny's Big Burger Bash, with burgers starting at $6.99. Denny's, welcome to America's Diner.
It's a new year and the first anniversary of our revolutionary acne treatment. To celebrate, we have an amazing new offer for you. Order Proactive Plus, and for a special limited time, you'll pay just $19.95. Imagine yourself with skin so clear and beautiful, you feel confident to go after all the things you want. Make it happen today with Proactive Plus.
That's a huge difference. Look at that. Proactive Plus makes me feel amazingly beautiful.
Proactive Plus is dermatologist developed to help seek out and fix problem areas on your skin. And it's proven to work 4 times faster than the leading prescription.
This product is doing it. I started seeing results with Proactive Plus within the first week.
Now's the best time ever to order because we're offering extra savings to first-time customers. Call 1-800-773-5681 to get our 3-step free gifts and free shipping, all just $19.95.
I use Proactive Plus every day. Like, I literally use this stuff.
I mean, I'm just in awe of our conversation and how so much we have in common. When I met Michelle some years ago, and it was something about her spirit that day. Do you have everything? Do you need anything? And I was there super early. They were setting up, and I'm like, I have to get where I'm going and know where I'm at and get me a park and find where I'm, and she was like, they were like, well, come on in. And I had just met you. I knew Erica, but I didn't know you, and I knew of you. And she just made me feel people just so warm. I just felt like I had been knowing her. What do you need us to do? Let me step in since I'm early and put my stuff over on the side. What do you need us to do? Step right in. And I never looked back. Wow. And that, we became friends on Facebook. I watch her. If I see something, I'll congratulate her, or I'll say something that's not just about a like for me. Absolutely. And I had to learn that, when she posts her grandbaby and Nora.
Yeah.
She is adorable.
Nora before.
But the things that she say, I have to say something. It's like, and so that's important to me, that it's not about the amount of likes. And, I got hung up in that for a while, but it's about really soaring and really watching a person's journey, following them and supporting them.
That's exactly what it is. It's just an extension of who we are, just on a virtual platform. And it's very easy to get caught up in the likes and all of that, because that gives us validation. And if you don't get it, sometimes you'll take it personally, like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Nobody likes me. And it's a trap. It really is a trap, because, again, your worth is not in that.
That's right. Because talk to them about knowing your worth. Talk to them how that gentleman poured into you, and he saw something in you that you may have saw because you met your goal, but he saw more.
Absolutely.
And how that resonates with you today.
It resonates greatly, because it's very easy to be comfortable. Those who love you will be firm and fair with you, and they will give you tough love, because sometimes we don't know our value. Whether we've been in abusive relationships, whether we have just never been told this, no matter what outside factors have contributed to you believing that, I always tell the youth that I work with today, I don't care where you live, I don't care what you see, that is not who you are. You do not believe what you see, because it's a lie. That is not normal. I don't care who you see going up and down the street shooting and all that. That's not normal. Your life matters. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't be here. So let's just look at creation. Okay. Every living organism that God made has a purpose. How is it that you as a human being who he gave the ability to think and critically and make decisions and just be able to do that, how is it that you don't have purpose?
That like how they gonna just skip over you because you over here
right.
and it's your zip code, so we can't sew into you and we can't help you.
And we see that there's so many things that tell us that our worth is not there. Just look at gentrification. You can have a plot of land that no one will, that they purposely divest from because of the color of someone's skin that lives there, and then all of a sudden they want to expand. Now we're going to start putting people over here. People are starting to move over there. Now we're about to start seeing little things pop up. I was listening to Kim Fox once, and she mentioned how over the Capri area, when she lived there, there was nothing there.
Nothing.
All of a sudden, you got Skydive over there. You have an Apple store there now. So what changed to bring value there? It wasn't the zip code.
Nope.
So we have to know who we are, so that we can put a demand on that which we have coming.
That's right.
And when you start a business, when you are at work, no matter where you are, no matter what you do, I've learned that one, to operate in excellence. Because when I operate in excellence, I'm telling you that not only do I believe in what I'm doing, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to go above and beyond what you've asked me to do because I want it to be a reflection of who I am, because I have value. What I do has value. You can't. I used to believe, because the ministry side of me, I wanted to serve. I want to be a blessing to someone. I had to learn that if I want to be a blessing to you, I'm just going to write you a check. Because when there's something that happens in that transaction, there has to be some type of investment. And if I don't release anything that's valuable to me, then I'm not going to have value in what you're giving me. And no matter how valuable we know our service is, our product is, or whatever it is, they're not going to see that because they didn't pay for that.
That's right. That's right. So you mean you can't give like free services just because me and you are friends?
We can barter.
Talk about barter.
I bartered my way all the way to where I am. I will, if I don't have the money, I will tell you, this is what I can do for you. And if we're able to build together, true collaboration, networking,
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
For a time, Eric and I, when we were working with chicks.
Talk about chicks that pitch.
Well, right now we're on hiatus.
We're
on hiatus right now because we both have personal projects that we're working on. I've been developing my HR practice, which is 21st century work strategies. I am a HR specialist, and my focus is diversity and inclusion as well as workforce development. This all goes back to purpose. This all goes back to what I believe God called me to. This goes back to me not seeing my place in church. I was a praise dancer. When you do that, people think, oh, yeah, that's what she does. No, that was my worship. That's not my
two different
service.
Things.
So let's get that right. And what I did was, there was a Dr. Greg Thomas that I had met because I had a really bad car accident, and I was out of work for like 18 months having therapy. Drunk driver hit me and my daughter. She was 10. And to this day, I still have residual from that. The day that we met, I was in so much pain. You wouldn't believe it.
I know you mentioned it, but you wouldn't be able to tell it because she was moving all over the place that day.
Oh my God. When everyone left, I laid flat on the floor on my back. I'm like, I just need to stay here for a minute until I can just, woo-ha. So after that accident, I was just looking, I don't know how to sit still. I don't. And so, my husband, I never had to work, but I always worked because I love working. Mm-hmm. I can't be that stay home.
It's your fulfillment.
I just can't do it.
You have what you have in you, you have to share it.
I do.
You have to help people and you have to lead people. So it's nothing wrong with working. To me, I look at it as a personal fulfillment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can tell you, when they do the career test in school and they tell you what you're going to be, I would get so mad because every time I did it, it would always come up, in the area of social work. And I'm like, they don't make any money. I don't do that. No. But you know what? It was right on point because I have compassion for people. And I have a passion for what I want to do when it comes to empowerment. And so when I was working with a mortgage company, and Dr. Thomas was he was referred to me through someone else, and he was working on some projects down in New Orleans pre-Katrina. And I was really interested in what he was doing because I saw him revitalize the community. That perked my ear because that's one of my pillars that I have a goal for, which is affordable housing. And so, but what we saw him do was take a housing complex that was considered, impoverished, you name it. We went down there. It was a gated community. That's exactly what it was. Palm trees. There was a daycare right there on the premises. The women that lived there were learning how to start cleaning services and got post-construction cleanup contracts from yes. And I was like, this is what I've been looking for us, by us. We can do this. We can do this. So he was also a man of God with vision, prophetic vision. And he began to just speak to me about what he saw, what God was sharing with him. And he prophesied to me like he was walking through my house and he had literally just met me over the phone. Everything from my husband to my children, you name it. And he goes, well, the thing is that you're not really called to that. You're called to the marketplace. The world is your pulpit.
And how did that, when he said that to you, Michelle, how did that make you feel?
I said, now that makes sense. Because sometimes in church, they would make people feel bad for working because you can't be there on Sunday. If I don't work, you can't pay tithes either, can I? Right?
Look, that's a whole nother show. We don't even have enough time for that one. But you're right.
So at the end of the day, I'm like, but I love this. And I love God too. Well, how does this work? And then there's another man of God named Dr. Sherman Arrington, who I used to attend his Bible studies every Monday. And the way he broke down the word, it just liberated me. And then also I was heavily influenced by Miles Monroe. And I still kind of get emotional knowing that he's gone.
Yeah.
Because I've never met the man, but I've read his books. I have listened to all of his teachings. The one thing he taught that really got me was this. If you go somewhere where you can't say the name of Jesus or you'll be killed or whatever, how do you preach Jesus?
Wow.
And you do it in how you act. You do it in your actions. See, I can preach Jesus to you more in what I do and how I treat you and how I love you than I can in beating you up with 15 million scriptures. Because it's easy to say it.
Yeah, but you have to walk it.
It
has to come from here too. It has to come from your heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me. I was like, okay. So when I'm in this marketplace that you call the world, when I'm in this worldly place, if I'm able to show I have character, I have integrity, I care about you as a customer, I care about you as a coworker, I care about you as any of my employees that work for me, I want to be the best support I can be to you. And I want to empower you to be best. Because for every manager that I had trained and was transferred out to another store, that made me happy. I wasn't losing, I gained, because that was evidence for me that I had the ability to build.
Oh.
And my legacy, I want my tombstone to say, she served. She served. Plain and simple.
2 words.
Plain and simple, because we looked at service, we've looked at submission, we've looked at these words as dirty words because we always looked at a place of not real. It's a place of humility, but it's not a place to be ashamed of that humility, because in humility you rise. We have to get back to authentic relationships.
How do we do that? Because everybody is in their phone.
Yeah.
Everybody is texting. People don't even call you and say hello no more. They text you, get up and you, hey, how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's okay because we're all lead very busy lives. And
Absolutely.
I get it. But every now and then, I had to even tell my grown children, don't keep texting me.
Mm-hmm.
Call me and say hello.
Yeah, we have to be intentional. And because we're so tech savvy, everything is so technologically based, they want us to be like that. But what has happened, the generation that has been born into that, they have to learn how to disconnect to connect.
Yeah. You have to take time out to say no phones. Like we don't have phones at the dinner table anymore because there's no conversation. Even when my nieces come over, it's like, they was like, dude, we have 2 aunties. It's just for 30 minutes.
Oh, my husband got on me so bad about that. He really did.
It was hard for me, but now it's not even, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, you want me to put my phone down?
I can
and my tablet? And I can't respond to nobody for like 30, 45 minutes?
And guess what?
What we going to do?
The world is still going to keep going, right? Because I think everything is going to stop, and it's not true. And so I began to just do the simple thing of just I didn't even bring my phone in here.
Right. I mean, it's nothing wrong with the city, but I'm talking about
right. And when I am, I'll turn my phone over now.
Ah, okay. That's a good idea.
I'll turn it over so that I'm not distracted by the notifications.
Right.
And I practice. I literally am practicing being mindful and present in the moment, because I can't be authentic with you if I don't give you eye contact.
That's right.
If I'm not able to respond to what you're saying and give you an answer instead of, yeah, okay. Because I used to do that.
And your mind not really there.
Oh God, it was right.
And the person that you're responding to, they already know that you're really not listening to me.
Because it only takes a second.
Yep. They know that you're not.
It only takes a second. And this is so important, because when our youth go into jobs, they have to have these soft skills. I don't care how much you train them, which is why I do 21st century strategies now.
Talk to us about 21st century strategies.
Oh God, that was born out of me desiring to empower young people, old people, businesses, whoever needed the help. I'm a certified life coach. And I only got that certification because I wanted to go into schools and help young people, because they would come into my job and they would ask for applications. They didn't know how to ask. They didn't know how to fill them out. They didn't know how to come back and interview. And I would stop them, because I've always worked for luxury retailers. And when they would come in, I would ask them, do you see what I sell here? Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything at home that looked like any of this? No. Okay. Do you have a school uniform? Yes. Okay. When you bring that this application back to me, I want you to have a school uniform on, because I don't want to put pressure on you to do or have something you don't have, but I do want you to be neat in your appearance.
That they already have at home. They ain't got to go out and buy. So that Absolutely. It starts in the home.
It starts in the home.
So your certification for your life coach, how long did that take you? How much time did that take you out of your...
It didn't take me long, because, I've been in ministerial school, and it was a fast track program for people who had been in ministerial leadership as well as leadership in the workforce. So I did a fast track 2-day weekend program. And I can share, I don't have my phone with me, but there's the company that I'm working with is out of Georgia, and they are phenomenal.
Well, send it to me. We'll post it if it's okay, in case somebody is interested.
Absolutely.
And what is your ideal client? Who would be if someone wants to sew into you and send you a customer or client, what would be your ideal client?
My ideal client would be anyone who is stuck. If you feel like that there's more, but you just can't seem to get there. If you know that you keep repeating these repetitive bad behaviors, and when I say bad behavior, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you've done something bad. It's just things that you don't like.
Because you don't like the outcome. And
Exactly.
So you want the outcome to be different.
Absolutely. Okay. And so What's the saying? When you repeat the same thing,
It's insanity.
It's insanity.
I say it every twice a week here on the show. If you're doing it, I told people when we left December, the last week of December, if you want to do something different, now you have a brand new year. And so we make these crazy, some people make crazy, outrageous New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
And within 2 weeks, the resolution is gone. So let's make a realistic resolution, 1 or 2, a 90-day commitment. And if 90 days doesn't work for you, let's do 30 days. So if your bank account is negative 100, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
What are you going to do different starting today? This is the whole month of December. What are you going to do starting today to make it different? So if an extra $200 would help your finances, what are you going to do different to generate an extra $200?
Absolutely.
And then the next month, if that number is not 200, whatever that number is, what are you going to do starting today? And I'm looking into the camera saying, what are you going to do?
Yes.
Because if you keep doing the same thing, and I said, some of you all will say, yeah, I got this, I'm going to do this. And when December 31st, 2019 comes, you're going to be in the same situation you were on December 31st, 2018.
It's really easy to dream. It's really easy to be inspired. It's not easy to be motivated, because inspiration and motivation are not the same. And if you don't know what motivates you, because think about it, we go to church on Sunday or whatever day you go, and you are inspired, you give because you're inspired, and it's
like an adrenaline.
It is an adrenaline rush.
When you get in your car and you get home, you may have the adrenaline for the rest of the day, rest of that day, let's just say. But the next morning, the adrenaline may or may not be there.
And so, as a coach, what I tell people is this. How did you feel when you heard that? Okay, you're ready to go, right? So how do we tap into that every day so that you can keep that momentum? Because there's days when you don't feel like getting out of the bed.
That's right.
There's days when you have challenges. There's days when it's like, okay, this is so far ahead, I don't see myself getting there. I had to learn about myself. I had to have small successes along the way to keep me motivated.
Me too.
So
I
that
can't
30
go
day
from now to December 31st, 2019.
Absolutely.
And it's just May. So I can't even try to comprehend
now,
that
can
far.
you imagine today telling someone who is a Gen Xer or a millennial, okay, we're going to do this, is going to take a year or 2 years.
They're looking at you like you're crazy.
They're exactly. And so you have to learn how to break things down so they're manageable, that they're realistic. I love SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they are realistic, and there's a time stamp on it. So you know that, okay, I have this much time to do that. But what's most important, because everyone has these vision board parties, right? I'm going to start having them this year, but mine are different.
Yeah.
They're vision mapping parties.
Oh. No, I haven't heard that one now.
Exactly.
See, I was okay when she said vision, and then she said map. I was like, wait.
These are vision mapping parties, and this is important because I can dream all day long, but if I don't have a plan, that's the problem when we go to church as well. We are so inspired by what we hear. God said that you can do this and you can do that, and then no one giving you what it takes
on how to do
to connect the dots. And then when you ask some people, they're like, oh.
They can't share that. They can't.
No, or they won't.
Or they won't. Well, that's it. It's not that they can't. It's they want. But guess what? Someone shared it with them. Now, I'm not saying go, Michelle, and give me your whole coaching. But if I asked you one thing, and even if you didn't want to share, you could say, well, here's a link. You can go to Forbes, or you could go to Entrepreneurs.
I do that all day long.
You could go here. And so that's not giving up you.
No.
And so before we close, I mean, she's going to have to come back and do a part 2, because we ain't even touched the surface on what the questions I want to ask her. But I want you to think about what you would say to someone who is a naysayer, or they're surrounded by negativity and they want to reach their goals. They don't know where to start, and they're just in this cycle that just keeps spinning and it's taking them nowhere, or they're blaming it on the circumstances.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. What could you say to give our platform some hope?
Okay.
We're going to take a 30-second break, and we're going to come back and close out. You're tuned in to Making Waves with Miss Darci, super mom, strategist, wife, grandmother, sister, friend,
auntie.
She gonna have to come back because we're gonna have a part 2. I promise you there will be a part 2.
I'll be more than
and
happy to
I'll
come
definitely
back.
be signing up for this map because I ain't heard nobody do vision. I done did a vision board, but when she said mapping, I'm like, she got my attention. So you're tuned in to IntellectualRadio.com and iHeart Radio Station. We're gonna come back and close out with words of wisdom. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain.
That's right. Welcome back. If you're just tuned in, we are talking with Supermom. I'm so glad that she is sitting on my embracing my platform today. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? And she gonna come back too. So she's gonna sow into us and give us words of wisdom. When I have people come on this show and share their story and knowing that it will inspire, uplift, and encourage someone, every time someone sits to the right of me, it strengthens me. It gives me the desire to keep going, knowing that what I'm doing is not in vain. We have good days and we have bad days, but there's something good in every day.
Absolutely.
And I was in the hospital from the migraine. I just couldn't go on. My head was hurting so bad last Wednesday, and I had been carrying it for a week, till I had to just go to the ER. And I'm trying to explain to them how intense this migraine is and passed out in the ER. But I thank God that I'm here. So Michelle, just sow one word of positive wisdom to them for to close us out.
You mentioned about getting past negativity. You have to physically remove yourself. Because this can be as close as it can be a spouse, it can be a child, it can be a friend, it can be a relative, it doesn't matter. You have to find a place that you can go, your safe space. And when you get into that safe space, you have to literally rewire yourself and be able to tell yourself what is. because it's that half glass, half empty thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to make a conscious effort to surround yourself with what is good, what inspires you, what motivates you. And you literally have to, if you're able to remove that factor altogether, because it can also be a coworker and you may not be able to do that, whether it's I used to wear earbuds and listen to music when I work, so I wouldn't have to hear it. So I would create buffers for myself so that I could focus on what I needed to see, and so that I'm able to stay motivated beyond whatever I see or whatever I hear. Because if I buy into that, then I won't get what I'm going for.
Thank you. Oh my God, y'all don't even understand what she did for me today.
Iron sharpens iron, Darci.
Oh my God, you don't even. Ooh. All I can say is thank God. Thank you for being here. She will be back for part 2. She'll let us know about the vision board mapping workshop, and tell them how they can get in touch with you, Michelle.
You can follow me on social media at 21st Century Work Strategies. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, also on Twitter. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else?
Well, anything she has coming up, she's going to let us know, and we're going to definitely share it on our platform.
Absolutely.
And she'll be back with part 2. Thank you so much.
And a special discount for your listeners.
Oh, yes. All right. We will post that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, for the grace of God, for embracing the platform. It means more to you than you will ever know. I really needed to hear that today. And sometimes people's story will take us or confirm what's in our heart, in our mind and soul. And I want to thank you listening or tuning in. Build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. And that could be me or Supermom Michelle Santiago. We're out. Thanks for tuning in, and please share the broadcast. See you guys.